Hi again. Hello. Welcome to Tuesday Night Live with Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the U.S. If you jumped on just a minute ago, I'm sorry about that. For some reason, when I flipped the camera to the landscape mode, Facebook didn't recognize it and decided that it was just going to go live in portrait. So we'll go ahead and do that again and see how it all works out. At least I figured it out pretty darn quickly, and we don't have to really restart anything. So that's awesome. All right. So let's see who we have on here, and we'll take a minute for people to find us, and then we'll get started. Okay, so as you can see in front of me here, the April product of the month has been announced as to what it will be. So if you're not familiar with April product of the month, this is a promotion that Stampin' Up! Is putting out. And here in the US, if you spend $75 after coupons and Stampin' Rewards and before shipping, Stampin' Up! Will allow you to add the product of the month onto your cart for $5. So this month it's the Notes of Spring stamp set. Oh, and we're going to be using that actually tonight, a little bit of it. So that's right here, the Notes of Spring. This is the March product of the month, which you can add on right now to your order of $75 or more. There is a limit of one per person, and that doesn't matter when you purchase it. It's one regardless. Hello, Cynthia. Thank you for stopping by. So happy that you're here. So anyway, the April product of the month will be the Eyelet Blooms die, and it looks to be just one large die, and not sure how that's going to cut exactly, but I guess we'll find out. I cannot pre-order this, so I'll be ordering it on April 1st, and then however long it takes to get to me, then I'll be able to show it to everyone in the meantime. Okay, so let's move on from that. And then I'll put that away so I can find it for the next time. We are going to be using the Cutest Crew bundle tonight. Now, after I made all my projects and got everything done, this had been out of stock. It came back in stock like last Friday, and now the dies as of today are out of stock again. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If you want it, put it in. Go sign yourself up on my website for the notification if you haven't already gotten it. If you didn't order it right away, and put yourself on that notification list so that the next time it comes back in stock, which won't be until I think the end of April, you can get it ordered right away. And then when you get the email, I wouldn't wait, because I don't know what's going on, but for some reason we cannot keep product in stock. I don't know where the problem lies, but it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and make a couple of cards with that tonight. I was not going to stop what I was doing and redo all of my projects simply because Stampin' Up! Cannot seem to keep product in stock. I can only do so much, and I only have so much time to design, so it is what it is. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is an 11-piece photopolymer stamp set and a 16-piece die set. And this is what the dies look like. So you've got a die to cut these images, and then you've got 9 dies that will cut 3 kitties, 3 puppies, and 3 birds, in addition to this butterfly and flower die, and then these 2 extra dies here. Okay, we do not have dies to cut out the bird feed or the paws, or even these butterflies or these flowers. And of course, we never have dies that cut out the sentiments. Not sure why that is, but we don't. So I shouldn't say never, because we do have wonderful thoughts right now, which does have dies to cut out these sentiments. As far as I know, though, that and like more message. The only set we've ever had that fully cuts out sentiments is the wonderful thoughts, and that is this stamp set here. Something you definitely want to take a look at, because this has been in the catalog, I don't know, a couple of times, and I anticipate that it will be on the last chance list. But these dies do perfectly cut out all of these sentiments. It's a wonderful set to have on hand. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead and get started with our projects. Let's start with project number 1. Now, I am really mashing up products for this first card. Probably some different products than you've seen mashed up anywhere else. So we're going to start with our colors, and we're using this Petunia Pop is probably going to become Strawberry Slush. My original card has Petunia Pop, but we're using the, what is this called? Extraordinary Flora washi tape. And this washi tape has 2 colorways. Let me find those for you so you can see those pulled out, the 2 different colorways. So when I made my original sample, the Petunia Pop colorway pulled out. And so for this one, then we're going to have, what a mess. There we go. I should probably fold that over. And then this didn't even pull out the right pieces. Goodness gracious. Okay, so this is what the Extraordinary Flora washi tape looks like on cardstock. So for my sample card, this piece pulled out. And then tonight, that will leave this piece pulling out. And this is Flirty Flamingo and Strawberry Slush. Okay, so we're going to see how that works. And if I don't mess it up, we'll be using the Strawberry Slush. And if I mess it up, then we'll be using the Petunia Pop. So let's see how this all works out for us. This has been kind of a crazy day for me. So here is our package. We're going to be using a basic black card base, and this is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've pre-scored that in half at 5 1/2. And you guys, I am struggling with these cards not wanting to lay the way I want them to, so I'm going to use my, if you're having that trouble, I'm putting mine in my Simply Scored tool, and then I'll just take my bone folder and hopefully that gives me everything lined up on the edges like it should, because I've got that nice square edge from the corner of my Simply Scored tool. So we've got basic black for our card base. And then we've got a piece of basic white, which I'm pretty sure I cut that. Let me look here. Should be 3 3/4 by 5, and this is it. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our washi tape down, because everything from here on out depends on the washi tape for the color, for the colorway. So we need to get that taken care of. So I'm going to take my washi tape and I'm going to pull these off, because that's how I keep those bread tags, is how I keep that from getting all, so that I can get to it easily. Man, my words just left my head. So I'm going to line this up on my craft mat, on my glass mat studio. Then we'll pull this out, and I'm going to hope that I can do this without making a mess. So I'm going to try and lay this down nice and straight along the edge, and I want to make sure that I miss this bottom part here, because that's the last part of the piece before. I'm going to put that down on there just straight, I'm hoping. And then I'm just going to take that and smooth it down with my hands. Okay, now I got that pretty straight. Yoo-hoo! So this is the colorway we're going to go for. And then I'm just going to take and trim this off like that. And then I'm going to fold that over, and we'll fold that over. And there is our piece of basic white. Now with our, oops. Okay. So I'm storing this with the bread tags, and then I just throw it in a plastic snack bags, one of the square snack bags, to keep it nice and clean. Okay, so we've got that. So now that we know we are going to be using the strawberry slush, let's go ahead and do our ribbon. Okay, because we need to color our ribbon. So I'm going to take some bubble bath ribbon. I don't have any strawberry slush ribbon. So I'm going to pull this bubble bath faux linen. This is in the current mini catalog. And I want about 11, I want about 20 inches. So I'm going to go boop and get that. Okay. That's about how much I need because I measured it earlier. And then we're going to take and lay this down. I'm going to get my strawberry slush blend, which I'm pretty sure I pulled out. No, yep, I did. Okay, so we've got our strawberry slush blend. I'm going to try the light and see how that works. I might move to the dark. Oh, no, this will work fine. And I'm just going to run the tip of my brush end on the side of it because I don't want to ruin the tip. And it covers more this way. Just going to run that along there and let it soak in. And we're doing this now so that it has time to dry before we need it, because I don't really want strawberry slush ink all over my hands. And this is an easy way to get the color that I need. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm going to set this aside to dry, and we'll use that here in a bit. Okay, so now we still need to color some things to make everything work out. From the Scalloped Wishes dies here, I'm using this one, which I've been using these quite a bit. I love these dies. This just came back in stock, like I think Friday. So, and when I looked earlier today, it was still available. But I've taken this die right here, and I've cut that out in white. And I'm using willow white for this. You can use basic white or willow white, and you get these two pieces. We're going to use them both. I do not want this piece to be white, however, and I didn't want to cut an extra piece. I wanted to save myself some paper. So I need to find a blending brush that will work pretty good for that color. Let's try this one right here. I think that one's going to work. I'll just clean that a little bit on my microfiber cloth here. I think that'll be fine. We'll test it on our paper, which is kind of nasty looking. We should probably get a new paper out. Okay, so I'm going to take my strawberry slush ink. I'm going to rub that on my scrap paper. And then I'm just going to ink this up. And why I'm doing this, I should just be doing it on my glass mat, and I wouldn't even have to worry about it. Okay, well, I've got it on the paper now, so just keep going. Okay, and you can put as much or as little ink as you want. Just be careful. You don't get, it's a delicate piece, so don't get too crazy. You can see I'm holding it, turning it, holding it, turning it. Okay, and so now we have this to go with this. All right. So that takes care of that part. Now let's go ahead and do up this part. And for this, we're going to use some Old Olive and Lost Lagoon ink. Because I think yep, I'm good with that. Okay, take your phone, please. Okay, so got the Lost Lagoon ink. And we'll just put some sky up there. And then we'll get some Old Olive ink. And we'll just put some light Old Olive in there like that. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and wipe that off. So now we've got this, and let's bring back in that rag. All right, and then we're going to bring back in the Old Olive ink. And from the Notes of Spring, we're using this little image here. And we need that scrap paper back. And we're just going to stamp in some grass along the bottom here. Just like that. All right, and then we're going to take the Lost Lagoon and stamp off. And I'm going to use this small, this is also from the Notes of Spring. And it's supposed to be like a grass clump, but we're going to make it clouds. Okay. So now we've got our little scene here. And we can go ahead and add this to our card base. So let's bring this in. Our card layer here, and we'll I like to take my bone folder after I've used Stampin' blends on these. It softens it back up a bit. And I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to slip it through this side scallop here. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, let's put this in here. We're going to take our scenery piece and lay it in here. I need this to be solid. And so I'm going to take a piece of tear tape and I'm going to use just a real small piece because I don't want this to get too crazy. And go off. This is the easiest way I found to hold these two pieces together because I don't want to pop this up. So we're just going to put if I were popping it up, I would just use mini dimensionals and that would be a little bit easier, but I don't like to double pop. So I'm just going to do this. And then that's going to hold that back together so it doesn't come apart. And then we're going to take our ribbon and I'm going to put that through the side. Well, let's turn it right side up. Put it through the side loop there. And then we'll pull it across the back and bring it up through the other side. Come on, stop being... There we go. All right, so we've got that. Now, going to put this down on our card like so. And I'm going to go ahead and put some Stampin' Seal here to hold that down. I can still slide, I don't have any Stampin' Seal where the ribbon is, so I'll still be able to slide my ribbon how I need to. But this will just make it a little bit easier for me to work with. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to set this down like so here. Just get that in there, give that a little bit of a press. I didn't press it too hard in case I need to move it. Then I'm going to wrap my ribbon around the back, making sure that that stays nice and flat. And I should have enough ribbon to tie a bow. Hopefully I've given myself enough. And you can see with this, I can just pull it like I need it. Now I got to keep that nice and flat. We'll put this in here like so. I'm going to give myself another hand. I'm going to take my reverse tweezers from my embossing additions kit. And then we'll loop, loop, tuck, and pull. And I'll pull those out. And then we'll do that. Okay. So far you're thinking, okay, Teresa, you said we were using Cutest Crew, but so far we haven't used anything out of that set. Well, my friends, hang on tight. Here we come. Okay, so we've got that all ready to go. Now let's bring in our Cutest Crew. So we're going to take the kittens and I'm going to grab a scrap of paper, and you only need one that's about an inch wide, and that one's plenty big enough right there. So we're just going to take that. I probably put one in my bag. I think I did, but I didn't look in there. And I'm just going to ink this up in Memento Tuxedo Black. And lay that on here. And now I've got this cute little row of kittens. Okay. So I want this kitten and this kitten. So we're going to color those kittens really quickly. I'm going to take a light basic black and I'm going to take that. I'm just going to take just a little bit here and here, along here, down here. I want to leave his feet white. And then run a little bit here and here. Okay? And I'm going to take the light smoky slate and I'm going to draw a little heart around his face there. And I'm going to go back in with the dark smoky slate and I'm going to finish coloring him with the dark. You can't see his belly, otherwise I would have left it white, because this reminds me of my little midnight kitty. He's a tuxedo. Okay, then I'm going to go back with that light smoky slate. And I'm going to lighten that up for his face. Okay, so now I've got that little kitty. And then I need my summer kitty. So I'm going to go back with my dark smoky slate. And I'm just going to put some little flicks here. A little bit dark there, a little bit dark there. A little flick here and here. Okay. And then I'm going to go back with the light crumb cake. And again, I'm going to draw in a little bit of a heart here for the face. Now, for my little kitty, she kind of has a little bit of orange in her. So I'm going to take the light timid tiger. And I'm just going to put a few flicks of the orange in here, right next to that gray. I don't want a bunch. Okay. And then I'm going to go back with the dark crumb cake. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, I want the light crumb cake. And I kind of want to put this in make that belly kind of light. And then I'm going to draw a little bit here and here. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill this in with the dark crumb cake. Okay. And then I'm going to take my light crumb cake and blend that dark. Okay. And now I've got my little kitty, but I forgot to do one of the most important things. I need to take and put a little M right there. Okay. So there we go. Now, this has a coordinating die. So you'll take that coordinating die and put that on there, which is right here. All right, so we're going to take and we'll lay this down like this and run that through our machine, and then we'll have this, okay? But I only need those two kitties. So I'm going to help myself by running that through the die. Now you don't have to. And then I'm just going to take and finish this off. With my scissors. Okay, so now I've got that little guy. And then we've got that little guy. Okay, now I can save these for another use. I've got these two, so we're going to go ahead and add these two into our scene here, like so. So let's bring in some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I've got some pieces left on this one that'll be perfect for this little cutie. Just going to put that right there like that. And then we'll get this one. And this one just needs one. Remove all those backings. We'll put our little kitty here. And our little kitty here. Okay. And now we need our sentiment. Okay. So for this one, we're going to take a piece of basic black, which I think is this piece right here. I don't even know what I did with my pieces now. Oh, I've got an extra one here. Doesn't matter which one we use. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of embossing. So we're going to bring in our embossing additions tray. And need our embossing buddy. Very important on black. I wonder if I can fit this right on here. Yeah, that will be the easiest. So let's do this. We'll see if it works. You know what? Let's do it on here just in case. We'll do both, and that way I won't have to redo it if it doesn't turn out, right? It's already done. Okay, so we need some Versamark ink. This is a sticky ink. All these extra things out of our way here. All right. So I've got Have the Best Day. And this is also part of the Cutest crew. I'm just going to give that a good inking. And then I'm going to bring this down here so I can see it. Set this on here like so. I'm not going to press too hard because I don't want to distort the letters. Actually, I don't think I really even need to do that one. This one looks really good. So let's go ahead and pour our powder on. Dump that back in the bottle. Give it a tap. I'm going to pour it again just to make sure I've got plenty. Give that a good tap. That E is not looking like it wants to. Okay, there we go. So we've got that. Looks pretty good. Got a little speckle here. I'm going to take just a little paintbrush and make sure I don't have any excess pieces here. All right. And then I'm going to move this. I'm going to put the cap on this. Move this completely out of the way so I can't accidentally melt my powder. I'm going to heat up our heat tool. And then we'll give that a melt. So I'll just hold that up until I see that dull powder turn to a shiny, smooth finish. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, let's move these out of the way, so we won't need those again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut it at a slight angle. I'm going to keep track of this piece, and I'm going to flip this piece down here, like, to make sure I have the same angle on both ends. So I'm just going to move that down here and hold it. And then, there we go. There's our sentiment. Put these pieces out of our way. We're going to grab some dimensionals again. These should fit right on here, barely. But they'll fit as long as I put them on correctly. And then we'll bring back in this base here. This is going to go down here like so. Okay, and now we need to add this to our card. So for that, we're going to need a piece of strawberry slush. This piece is 4 inches by 5 inches, or by 4 inches by 5 1/4. We're going to add this to the strawberry slush. And where is my... Okay, I must have buried it. Where did I put my silicone mat? Why can't I never find that thing when I need it? It's easier to roll it up with the silicone mat, because then I don't get sticky on my fingers. Okay. So I've got that. I just want to put a little bit here, right over the washi tape. I can get it to stick. And then we'll add this to the base layer. Like so. And then we're going to add this to the card front. Like this. Center that up as best we can. Okay. Trim up our ends on our ribbon. Okay, and then we need to find some gems to add. So let's take the 25 to 27 in color flat pearls. And let's see, I don't know, do you think we've got, I'm going to pull in, this is Darling Duckling in here, and that's what, I'm going to pull in that Darling Duckling. So we aren't overwhelmed with strawberry slush. Okay, so we'll just, you know what, we need to take this, put this down here, and then we'll put this up here. Okay, and when I'm happy with that, I'll give that a good press. And there we have the front of our card. Wow, that took a long time. It seems like. Okay, so for the inside, I did a bigger piece, just like I showed you previously. And then I die cut 3 of the plain cats and colored them pretty much like I just showed you. And I'm going to take these die cut kitties, add glue dots, and then we're just going to lay this guy down here. Oops, that one did not stick. Okay, why is that doing that? There we go. Like silly glue dot. All right. We're going to put this one over here. And finally, we'll have this little guy here. And he's just going to play in the grass over here. Okay, I left the sentiment blank because have the best day can go for a lot of occasions. So we will decide what that is when we need to send out the card. Okay, that little brush is getting in my way. It's got to go. It's got to go. All right, and there is card number 1. Okay, and then for the envelope, I took those kitties, stamped them, colored the butterflies, and then the one little kitty in the center, and that is card number 1 complete. Okay. Oh, hello, Mary. Thank you. I'm glad you liked that card. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll move to card number 2. Set this one aside for now. Move the ink pads that we don't need out of the way. And I need to put that where I can find it again. Okay. And for this card now, oh, hang on real quick. Let me show you this is the Petunia Pop. This is the other version. So you've got those 2 different floral pieces. So I did one in Petunia Pop for that section of the washi tape and one in Strawberry Slush. Okay. So even though they're the same, they're different. All right. Now let's go for our second card. And for this card, we're going to start with a Secret Sea card base. And this is standard A2 5.5 by 8.5. And pre-scored that at 4 1/4. Give that a little burnish. And then we're going to bring in a piece of the Whispers of Texture, and I've got the linen look piece. And what you get with this is 12 by 12, and you get 6 sheets, 3 of 2 different designs. You've got this linen kind, and then you've got the mini corrugated. Okay, 3 sheets of each. And we are going to take some Misty Moonlight ink for this one. I'm going to take a blending brush. And I want just a light misty. And I don't necessarily need to do the center, because I'm going to cover that up. I'm going going to go pretty lightly because I really do not want this to be dark. And then I'm going to take a little scrap piece of paper here so I don't get fingerprints where I don't want them. We'll add that color in there. Okay. And there we go. So we've got that ready. And set that aside. Go ahead and wipe off our work surface here. And then we're going to be using the Square Snippets Designer Series paper, but we're going to use it in kind of a different way. Now this, you get 3 sheets each of 4 double-sided designs, and 6 of the sheets have these different squares, and then on the back side there's a pattern, and those are all 3x3s, and then there's 3 sheets that have 4x4 squares, okay, and then a pattern on the back. So 2 sheets that have these different 3 square designs. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken 2 of the squares, I've taken this square, which is 3-inch, and this square, which is 3-inch, and out of this one I cut this piece from the Joyful Squares in this pattern with the scallops down. Okay, this is going to be our sentiment piece. So we can put that back. And then we've got a piece of garden green two-tone cardstock. We're using the light side, and this piece is 1 1/4 inch by 4 1/4, and that 4 1/4 is going to give us a little bit of leeway to do what we need to do. Okay. And then you also need a scrap piece of white so that you can stamp your little doggies. Okay, so let's, I don't think this one's big enough. What I got here? Let's find another one of these. I'm sure, I thought I had a piece. I probably have a piece in the kittens still. I don't know. Okay, so let's find another scrap piece in here. And if we can't, we'll grab a different, I thought I had put a piece in here, but now I'm not seeing it. Let's just look a little better. Nope. That's textured. We don't want that. Okay, well, we'll just grab a piece of white and cut it. Okay. That's the texture. That's not what I want. What did I do with all my white, for goodness sakes? I had a whole bunch laying around here, and then you clean and it's gone. Okay, so this is Willow White. I only need this to be 1 inch, but I'm cutting it at 1 1/4 inches. Oh, I guess it's White Willow. It's in the two-tone section. Okay, then we'll take our puppies. I'm using the arm from the stamp positioning tool just because it was convenient. The stamp positioning tool, for those of you who don't know, will be available in the May to August catalog. So if you're wanting that, that's when it will be available. So just ink that up in Memento black ink. And then I'm just going to stamp this down. I really like this extra arm. This arm as an extra Oops, I don't know that I can get that lined back up. Let's try it though. Nope, I double stamped it. Darn it. If I had it on the stamp positioning tool, I could have just redone that, but I didn't. We're just going to use it like as a regular block. Only this time I'm going to do a better job of pushing where I need to. Okay, there we go. So we've got that. Now we're going to color this whole thing, but to save us some time, I've already done that. And then we're going to cut them out with the coordinating dies. So you can either do that now or do it later, but there is a coordinating die. Stick that on there either before or after you've colored it, run it through, and through the magic of television, here are our little pups. Okay, just wanted to save us a little bit of time. So I colored this little pup in the basic black with a dark basic gray. I used dark Darling Duckling for his little metal thing here. It's ID tag. This is colored in light and dark pecan pie. Light cloud cover for his bandana. His tongue is ivory. And this little guy is done in the gray granite combo, both light and dark, and then misty moonlight light for his bandana. And this little guy I did in the natural tones, and I used SU 500. Okay. Actually, I think I did use 200 on here. And then I decided it was too dark and you should probably use a lighter one. But it's okay, we've got it. All right, now to color those little flowers, what I did was I took my Pretty in Pink light. Nope, that's not Pretty in Pink. Doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, Pretty in Pink light here. I got it right here. Pretty in Pink light. And I just took and put just a tiny little bit in the center. And then I took my color lifter and I used the brush tip and I just swiped outward from the center and kept moving that because I wanted to give these flowers the illusion that they looked like this. Okay, so once that all dried, then I took this Secret Sea, the light Secret Sea blend, and I just dabbed in there to get that dark center like the paper. Okay, and then this is what we have. Okay, so let's grab our sentiment. Let's stamp that, and then we're ready to start putting this together. Okay, so I have two in case I mess one up, because you can't stamp and then die cut with this. So I'm going to put this on my silicone mat, which was on the floor. I'm not sure how it ended up there, but it did. Then we're going to take Secret Sea ink. And the sentiment, so glad we're friends. And I'm going to try and put this down just a little bit from the top, like so. It just fits. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to take our garden green ink and we're going to take this piece and I'm going to take that same stamp I used with the old olive And because they're both green, I'm just going to go like this, clean that off real good. And then I'm just going to stamp this right along the bottom here. Just to give the puppies some ground. And now we're ready to start putting everything together because we've got it all. Okay, so first thing we need to do is cut this in half. Okay, so I'm going to put this in my trimmer and I'm going to cut this at 1.5 because it is a 3-inch square. Okay, like that. And then we're going to put just a little bit of glue along the edge here. And I'm going to line this up on a line here, like this. And then we're going to, this is 3 inches and this is 4 1/4. So we're going to make sure we've got about the same distance on each edge, and we're trying to make sure that this all stays as straight as we can. Okay, and then we'll give that a good press. All right, now I'm going to flip this around because I found it to be easier that way. And I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'll find a line here. And then I'm going to try to make sure that this and this are straight, and this are straight. Okay. All right. And hopefully when I line this up here, everything looks good. Okay. But I gave myself a little bit of extra room here just in case I needed to straighten it out a bit. And then we're going to add this piece to here. And this is where that comes in, because if I need to tilt this a bit, I've got the latitude to do that. So let's go ahead and put some Stampin' Seal here. All right. And then we'll just line this up. I'm going to put it just a little bit to the top, a little bit closer to the top than the bottom, because I'm going to put my sentiment down at the bottom. So I'm going to line that up as best I can and as straight as I can. And then I'll give that a good press. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. Okay, so we've got that piece. And now, oh, I did it again. Darn it. Don't put your glue way at the bottom. Give yourself, oh, I didn't. I gave myself a little bit here. Yoo-hoo! Then I'm going to take and put just a little bit of glue. I'm going to actually put my glue on the back. I'm going to glue this down. And I'm going to bring that in just a tiny little bit. Shove that under the edge. And stick my sentiment in there. And now we're ready to add this to our card. The card front. All right. And we'll add this here, like so. And then I'm going to take and pop this up. So we're going to use both minis and regular. I'll use the regulars where I can. And then on these smaller parts down here, I think I can stick a mini in here, right like that, and it not show. Perfect. And here. All right. We'll take those backings off. And we're going to put this right here. And then to finish this off, we'll take the Hues of Blue flowers. I'm going to take those Misty Moonlight ones, or Secret Sea, and put one there, and one there, and then I'll add this one right here. Okay, so that is the front of our second card. For the inside, I cut that doggy paw die, and we're just going to add this in. Okay. And here's the envelope for that. I took and stamped my puppies, and then I stamped the paw print stamps going toward the row. And there you have it. There is card number 2 with the Cutest crew. I hope you like those. Hello, Lynette. All right, everybody. Hopefully I'll be back here on Thursday. Thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to like and share with your friends. And thank you so much. See you later. Have a great week. Good night.